Hey guys, just Cole from Nero Coaching with another video. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 6 workouts from the 2021 Zwift Academy Road. To do this, I'll be using this rating system, which has 4 parts, which I will explain now. First part is the specificity of the workout. So is there a clear goal, a clear aim? Second part is the accuracy. So how well does the workout actually achieve that goal that they've stated? Third part is the trackability. And this is if you are repeating the workout over multiple weeks or months, how easy is it for you to see your improvement? And then the fourth one is the X factor. Is there anything particularly fun or interesting about this workout that can give it some extra points? So I will be using a scoring system out of 5 for each of those to give an overall score of 20. So let's jump over to Zwift and break down each workout. So week 1, we're looking at VO2 max over-unders. So here we got them talking about, this session is all about building duration of time spent at a level close to your VO2 max. And they go into a bit of an explainer here. So I gave this one a 9 out of 20. We got a few issues going on. So let's break it down. Specificity, gave this one a 4 out of 5. So pretty clear that they've said it's VO2 over-unders, and then they want to have you spending time close to your VO2 max. But accuracy, 2 out of 10. Couple issues here. Main one being, it's just not that hard. So we've got, with an FTP of 370, we've got 2 minutes at 425, 1 minute at sweet spot, 1 minute again at 425, 1 minute at sweet spot. Now, for me, I think two minutes at the power output of 425 is sort of low, moderate, zone 5. And with only 3 minutes in that zone per set, and only 3 of them, you're looking at 9 minutes total in zone 5 throughout the workout, and it's low to middle zone 5. So there's actually not much time at VO2 max in this session. So that's why I gave this a 2. It's not really maximizing your amount of time at a VO2 max level. So kind of missed the mark there. Trackability. So how could you see improvement in this session week on week? Gave that a 2. Gonna be hard to see. You'd really have to be zooming into these intervals to see your power for each one. There's nothing you can easily look at this session and say, yep, I've improved. So gave that one a 2. X factor, it's not doing much for me this session, I can tell you. It's, I gave that one a 2 out of 5. So there's nothing that interesting here. Nothing about race simulation or comments from a pro about the workout. So lacking there a little bit for me. So actually, no, I gave that a 1. Gave that a 1 for X factor. Nothing too interesting there. So overall, 9 out of 20. Not off to a good start, but it'll pick up from here, I assure you. So let's move on to week 2, where you'll be doing your peak VO2 intervals. And I gave this one overall a 13 out of 20, but let's break it down. So we're reading here, and we've got a rider attacking hard over short climbs, and then it's about stressing your peak VO2 early in the interval and then maintaining that level of oxygen consumption. So gave that one a 4, pretty clear. There's a bit of explanation of how this might be in a race, and then what the energy systems that are getting stressed are. So gave that one a 4. Accuracy though, let's have a look. So we're looking at 30 seconds at 555 watts, 1 minute at 444, and then a minute at sweet spot, which not doing that much really. I don't think that minute at sweet spot will be that difficult, but 444, so you're looking at sort of mid to upper VO2 max zone 5, and then 30 seconds at 555, that'll sting. So then you're doing 2.5 minutes off, and then doing 6 sets of that, which is pretty solid. So I mean, that ticks the box for me. I gave that one a 4 in terms of accuracy. You've got that surge, that kick, you've got that settle in at a high enough level where you'll be maintaining that VO2 max. So yeah, I like it. Trackability, yeah, it's hard, this one. When you're doing any of these types of workouts with surges, they're always going to be hard to track. So what I'll also say here, a little bit of tip, if you're doing this workout, this is one I wouldn't do in erg mode. Reason being, any efforts in zone 6, especially when you're doing them based off a percent of FTP, are going to be very difficult. If you've got a big anaerobic engine, the 30-second surge could be really easy for you. And similarly, if you've got if you've got a strong aerobic engine, but your VO2, your anaerobic capacity is quite low, you might really struggle with these surges. So what I would say is just turn erg mode off for this session, and then do these 30-second surges off feel, so that you're pushing yourself hard and you're going to be getting the benefit, no matter of if you're anaerobic capacity is low or high relative to your aerobic power. So that's a little tip there. But trackability, I mean, unless you're digging in and looking at every single 30-second effort, you're going to struggle to see improvement easily in this session. So I gave that one 2. And then X Factor, you know, I kind of like it. They've talked here about steep climbs, riders attacking. You know, if you're doing these sessions, you could imagine you're jumping to get on a wheel, holding the wheel, settling in. I like it. So I gave that one 3. So that gives us our 13 out of 20. Then we've got week 3, lactate tolerance. I really like this workout. So overall, I gave it a 17 out of 20, and let's break it down. In terms of the specificity, I gave this a 5. So we've got a really clear explanation here. It's a lactate tolerance workout, which is going to improve your time trialing or paceline riding. And then they've also gone into the energy system. So this is about enhancing lactate tolerance, holding your FTP, things like that. So I really like it. Good explanation, good title, 5 out of 5. Accuracy as well, they have really nailed it. So 5 out of 5. This session is lactate tolerance, and what they've got getting you to do is 30 seconds at high VO2 max, going down into sweet spot for a minute, 30 seconds, a minute, really good set. So we're looking at a minute and a half for each sort of block, and then repeating that 4 times. So 6-minute sets, 3 of those. That is a pure lactate tolerance workout, and I really like it. So I gave that a 5 out of 5. Trackability, again, the nature of doing these sort of intervals, it might be a little bit difficult to track overall, but I did give this a 3, and that's because the way these intervals set up, if I had an athlete doing this workout and I wanted to track their improvement week on week, I would take a lap from the start of this first interval here, and I would go all the way to the end of the last interval, which in this workout, 3 6-minute sets with 5-minute recovery, 2 5-minute recoveries, that's 26 minutes, and I would take the normalized or adjusted power for that entire block and then compare that week on week. So it takes a little bit of work, but that's an easy way to track improvement week on week. So I gave that a 3. In terms of X Factor, I gave this a 4. I really like it. If you're doing this session, you can really easily imagine you're in the bunch, rolling turns, you're on the front during these 30-second surges, rolling off, settling in for a minute. I like it. I think they've really done a good job in terms of making it exciting. So 17 out of 20. So well done. So workout 4, we've got threshold over-unders. Let's break it down. They're saying here high efforts, long durations. It's about performing longer efforts around your FTP because they've already built your VO2 max in the previous weeks. Okay, so 5 out of 5. They're saying you are doing threshold over-unders, and this is the purpose. So I like it. Accuracy, again, 5 out of 5. Let's break it down. We're doing 1 minute at 350, 1 minute at 377. So sweet spot above threshold, sweet spot above threshold. That is a pure over-under session. Perfect, 5 out of 5 for that. Trackability, I gave this a 3. So a few things you could do. You could again go, so you could go a lap from the start of the first interval to the end of the last interval and take the normalized power across the entire thing. Or you could do even average power for each effort. So 2 of them, or normalized power for each effort. So a couple of things you could do there. Pretty easy to track, gave that a 3. X Factor though, we're struggling here, guys. I gave this a 1. There's nothing about this workout that makes me excited or picturing myself riding. It's pretty vanilla. So gave that one a 1. So that gives us a total of 14 out of 20. 5th workout, upper threshold blocks. This is an interesting one. There's a few things going on here. So I gave this a 12. And let's break it down. So they're saying upper threshold blocks, and then they're saying this is about spending 30 minutes of work near your FTP. Okay, so in terms of specificity, I gave this a 3. Okay. Sort of, they've said it's about improving 15 to 30 minute power doing upper threshold blocks, but there's not really anything about how you'd use this workout in a race or on the road, so not too specific, I don't think. Accuracy, we've got a problem here, so let's break it down. You're doing 5 minutes above threshold, 2 minutes recovery, a minute and a half recovery, then only 5 minutes at threshold, minute and a half recovery, and then 5 minutes of sweet spot. I just don't think this is that hard. So if you're a very new rider and don't have that much experience, this might be moderately hard, but I think for most people, they're going to get through this workout fairly easily. And they've called it upper threshold blocks. So if this was me, what I would do is I wouldn't bother with the ones at or below threshold. I would make all 6 of these at the 388 watts, and then I'd just make the recovery periods longer. So you could have 6 efforts at 388, which would be maximizing your time at upper threshold, and then I'd make the rest periods longer to make it possible. So I'd make these maybe 4 minutes recovery in between each, and that would be an upper threshold session. So they missed the mark there. Trackability, pretty easy. I mean, you can just go in and see the power you did for each 5-minute block each week, and you could see your improvement pretty easily. So gave that a 3. X factor, not doing too much for me, but I kind of like the look of this sort of reverse pyramid. I think it would look cool on Strava when you upload it. So gave that one a 3, just because I think it does something for me, this sort of reverse pyramid look of the graph. So I kind of like it. Gave that one a 3, taking us to a total of 12 out of 20. Final workout. Unfortunately, we're ending on a bit of a low here, so let's get into it. They've called this an FTP boost workout. And they've said here, it's ensuring something about doing a high pace without fading, and then they're going into an anaerobic capacity effort, and then FTP. I'm a bit confused. Like, is it an FTP boost workout, or is it about recovering from attacks? I'm not too sure, so I gave that a 3 in terms of specificity. Accuracy, we got issues here. So we're looking at 30 seconds at zone 6. Again, I'd probably do this one without erg mode. You're going to run into that issue when you're basing zones off percent of FTP. When you're basing power targets on percent of FTP and you're going well into zone 6, athletes are going to run into issues if they're using erg mode. So 30 seconds at 592, then a minute off, but then only 4 minutes at sweet spot, and then 3 minutes at threshold. You know, I don't think that's FTP boosting. If this was really to boost FTP, I'd get rid of this. Get rid of this 1 minute recovery, send them into a 30-second surge. Now, maybe it wouldn't be 590 watts. It might be something like 500 watts, and then go straight into the sweet spot block. So it's going to be much more aerobically taxing to recover from that without this recovery period. And then I just knock a couple of watts off this 30-second block, this 30-second effort to make it achievable. So I think they've really missed the mark there. Gave that one a 2 in terms of accuracy. Trackability as well. I'm struggling to see how you'd see improvement in this session, because the 30-second power you do is going to change each week. And then, so, well, are you looking at your power you're doing here? You know, maybe. You're probably not going to be looking at the normalized power for all of this, just because this 30-second surge is too big. It'll screw the algorithm for normalized power. So I'm struggling. I gave that a 1. X factor, not doing much for me. Gave it a 2. I mean, I can kind of see the attack thing, picturing yourself in a race, but the description here doesn't really talk about that much. You know, it's sort of just, the description here is just sort of running through the workout in terms of what you're actually doing, but you can just see it here anyway. So, you know, lacking there. So I gave this one an 8 out of 20, struggling a little bit. So that is my breakdown of the Zwift Academy workouts. Guys, this was just a bit of fun. Don't take this too seriously. You know, if you give these workouts your all and you get stuck in, you're going to see the benefits. So if you're doing Zwift Academy, good luck and have a bit of fun, get stuck in, and hope you got something out of this video, and I'll see you next time.